What's up, everybody, and welcome back. So today my video for you guys is which team captain to pick. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what team captain's best. It depends on your scheme, what you run. What I'm going to do is I'm going to compare the team captain to the closest player in Madden that has their skill set or abilities, height, speed, whatever player is closest to what they are, and see if you can get that player instead of wasting the team captain spot on them. So first, let's start off with Eddie George at running back. To me, Eddie George might be the weakest team captain to pick. I personally don't like to be locked into one running back for the whole year. Madden a couple years ago when we had the Ricky Williams, I hated that I was locked into always having Ricky Williams as the running back unless he was not good enough to start, and then I had to look for another running back. But let's look at Eddie George's stats compared to two other running backs when they're at 87. So this is, to me, the fairest way to compare them to players that are out there, is to get it overall that's pretty close. And these three running backs right here, Eddie George, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, all have a similar running style. They're all more power back oriented. So let's take a look at the speed. The speed's pretty similar for all of them. Not really a big deal. Agility is a little higher than the rest, not much. Acceleration is pretty close. All these stats are pretty similar. But when you come down here, he's a power back, but he has the worst break tackle out of all these power backs. So for me, he isn't going to break tackles the way a Nick Chubb is with a 90, or Derrick Henry is at 86 right here. He moved down. Stiff arm, not crazy. Doesn't have the best out of these guys. Spin move, he does, but it's only a 70. You're not going to spin away from nothing. Juke move, pretty terrible too. At 77, you're not juking with him. So basically, he is a trucking back, but does not break many tackles compared to other power backs that are going to be similar. Christian McCaffrey's dad, is he glitchy? I don't believe so. He has nice height. He's pretty tall, so I compared him to two other tall receivers, similar speeds. So I compared him to the 87 Drew Bennett, 86 Mike Evans. See if his stats are any better. Come down here, you're looking at speed. They're all about the same speed. Strength, pretty similar to Mike Evans. Agility, right there with Drew Bennett. Catching, pretty similar. Jumping, similar. Come down and see some of these other stats. Can he do anything after a catch? I think this is the biggest thing. He's got an 81 stiff arm, so you might be able to push off some of the smaller corners. So he isn't terrible as an option, but you can get Mike Evans, you can get Drew Bennett. They're going to pretty much all run the same. So let's take a look at the catch in traffic. All similar. Spec catch, Mike Evans, huge advantage at 87 compared to an 82. So to me, I would say you can get another receiver. Plus his speed isn't crazy. If his speed is comparable to a Mike Evans, Drew Bennett, there's going to be much speedier receivers that are going to be better off. The only thing is the height. He is pretty tall, but you can use Mike Evans as a red zone target for jump balls and things like that. So Ed McCaffrey doesn't really have anything too special about him. Next, let's look at Leroy Glover. And I compared him to 87 Chris Jones, 87 Fletcher Cox, and one thing that jumps off is his speed. 75 is pretty fast for a defensive tackle, especially compared to Chris Jones. He's a turtle. Strength, all pretty similar. His acceleration is pretty quick too. 85 compared to 78, 78. Calm down and look at some of his other stats. Power 81, so he can hit people, cause some fumbles. Power move is an 80. So you look at Chris Jones, almost a 90. Fletcher Cox almost a 90, so his power move isn't going to be glitchy compared to them, and his finesse move is only at 85. So if you take their best pass rushing power move, you're just way better than his finesse. Block shed is nothing special, so to me, you can grab Chris Jones, even though he's a little slower, or if you want someone a little faster, Fletcher Cox, 4-speed difference. They're all going to basically do similar things. You're not really going to get too much production from a defensive tackle when it comes to sacks. And then lastly, Aeneas Williams. Compared them to 88 Gilmore. There isn't any 87 version of him. Jalen Ramsey had 86 powered up. And then 87 Richard Sherman. So right away, their speed's pretty similar, 85, 85, 85, and the Turtle and Sherman. One thing is his strength is a 72. So this corner is pretty strong. He can help in the run game. Come down here, we'll look at the block shed. Pretty good for a corner to have 59 block shed this early in the game. Pursuit's 80. Man coverage is 85. So he's a man corner. Doesn't have the glitchiest coverage stats, 85, 81. Gilmore's a better coverage corner. He's going to cover people much closer. His press isn't really special. I wouldn't press him. He's going to get burnt. Ramsey, 84, 84, 85. Ramsey is the most balanced corner, I believe. You always know he's going to get nice power-ups. They're always going to be really good late in the game. Richard Sherman's a turtle, but you can press Sherman, leave him in a cloud flat, cloud, purple, and he'll get interceptions. He has a good play rec and a high zone. But one thing I want to take a look at is the catching. Catching, he's got a 72. Look at Sherman, he's got a 72. Sherman gets a lot of interceptions. If you throw the ball near him, it's not on target. He's going to moss people, come down with it. Williams is going to do a similar thing. The main difference is, take a look at some of his stats after he gets the interception. Sherman, you're going nowhere. You catch it, he's done where he caught it. He's going to get tackled. But Williams, not only is his speed 85, so it's decent, but he's got a 70 spin, 77 juke. He's going to be able to make a couple people miss. Receivers aren't really your best tacklers, so if you make one miss, you can be gone. Now back to his catching. His catching's a 72. It doesn't seem like that's that great, but when you look at some of the receivers, Odell's got a 77 catch. Juju's got a 77 catch. Cooper's got an 80 catch. He's not that far away from big name receivers in catching. So you're going to make plays with this guy. And the best part about him is he is a corner. You're going to use multiple corners all year long. Worst case scenario, he could be your 4th, 5th corner. And the nice thing about these team captains, they're always going to get upgrades. They're always going to be at the top of the top players at their position. Having a top corner at number 4 or 5, if your team's that good, pretty well off. I would say definitely stay away from Eddie George. He's the worst option. If you like big, tall, possession catch, jump ball receivers, Ed McCaffrey's not a bad option for you. And then Glover isn't the worst. He can get a pass rush, but do you want to burn your team captain on a defensive tackle that if you get a better tackle, he moves to 2, depending on what scheme you run, he might not even get on the field. The best options, I think, are going to be McCaffrey, Williams. I'm definitely going to rock out with Williams. I think he's the best option. He'll probably be my 3rd corner at worst in the first week of Madden 21. So, thank you guys. Subscribe, like, drop a comment. Let me know what team captain you're going to rock this year.